What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today I wanted to go ahead and put a video together on a problem that is kind of annoying the solo, players' experience. Now, this isn't really there for the squads. People who are playing in like a 4-man, 5-man, 6-man party. It's not too big of an issue. But for a lot of the solo, player base out there, and even for players who play in duos or sometimes in trios, this is an issue that is driving a lot of the community pretty crazy right now, and I'm really hoping that we can see this addressed sometime in the near future. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And of course, if you guys are interested in seeing us go ahead and stream Season 1 live and in action, we will be live today, but obviously Season 1 doesn't drop today, it drops on Tuesday, but I'll also be live on a Tuesday, grinding it out, giving it a go. As you guys already know, I don't really record videos the day of, I record them the day before. So my Season 1 video is going to be out on Wednesday. I think I'm going to put out kind of like a big list of things that I really want to see hyper-focused in Season 1 for tomorrow's video, and then we'll see what actually gets fixed, what doesn't get fixed, and then, like I said, we'll address it on Wednesday. But if you guys want to see me play it live and see how, how it is, if I'm enjoying it, what the faction is looking like, maybe the weapons, battle passes, all that good stuff, I'll be streaming it over on my Twitch channel. Those streams go live between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time, and you guys can find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, today's topic is a bit of a trickier one to go ahead and discuss because realistically, there's two sides to this overall story here. And, you have to try to understand both sides if you really want to try to resolve this overall issue here. But, as you can see from this post right here, and many other posts as well, this isn't the only post I've seen. It says, joining games in progress is getting out of hand. Logged on tonight, played 5 or 6 matches. Every single one of them were halfway done. And I agree. Again, like I said, this isn't the only post that I've seen. I've seen many other posts as well, where this game, honestly, if you're playing solo or even in a duo, it's going to cycle you into pretty much, predetermined matches all the time. Games are like halfway through, already done, finished up, and it's a GG in the chat. Now, this is my partial solution, is that I feel like if you complete the match, it doesn't put you in the same cycle. At least for me personally. If I go into a queue, and I join into a game that's, mid-session, and I finish it, and then I don't back out to the main menu, and I just keep cycling through, typically after that point, it starts to put me in, fresh games, after fresh game, after fresh game. Usually the only time it really starts doing this is if I back out, and then going back out, and it keeps cycling me into, games that are finishing midway through, or I completely finish out the lobby, we go back to the next loading screen to find new players, but instead of waiting, I back out to the main menu screen, and then yes, indeed, it will cycle me, or probably cycle me into another lobby that's halfway through, if any of that makes any sense. But, a lot of people want to see this feature completely removed. They want players to only go in on fresh lobbies. But like I said, there's two sides to the story here, because even if they were to do such a thing and remove the ability for, people to join in games that are halfway done, that kills the enjoyment of the lobby for the other team as well. Yeah, it's annoying to join in and deal with it. But think about it. How many times have you played with some buddies, or even played solo and you've been mopping a team, and everybody continuously backs out, right? Those games are boring, right? Because you're winning, you're catching the dub, but now you're only versing one person who's hiding in the back of the map, and you're left with an option. Leave the game and don't get the, the easy win that you just got, or you sit there and play hide and go seek with the one person who wants to go to the back corner, and you sit there for 8 to 10 minutes doing absolutely nothing just to, get a win, right? Those matches are so tedious and obnoxious. And if they were to go ahead and remove the feature of allowing people to, cycle into games that are already going through, the progress, that would be horrifying, in my opinion, for the, the other group of players, which again, we all can't deny, we are in those groups sometimes. We do stomp out enemies. We do have games where we just completely mow down people. Even if you're playing solo, no scope is matchmaking, sometimes you do luck out with an absolute group of goats who are insane. And it's not just you fragging out. It's happened many times to me before where I'm getting 20, 30 bodies, holding a nice, good KD, great OBJ, and I'm sitting here thinking I'm doing phenomenal. And then I look at the scoreboard and I have 3, 4 other, people, randoms on my team who are doing better. And I'm like, oh my God, I thought I was doing good, but these guys are mopping the floor. And it's those lobbies do occur. And guess what? people leave. So if the developers were to go ahead and remove the ability for people to join, matches in progress, that would destroy the overall vibes of those matches. It would make for a lot of tedious, boring, long, just non-engaging games, which would ultimately kill a lot of experiences out here. So again, we have to be fair to both sides here. Personally, I don't think that this feature should be removed whatsoever, and players should still be allowed to join games in progress. And again, like I said, there is a little bit of a workaround, like I said in the beginning of this video. If you don't leave games, if you don't leave the lobby whatsoever, and you just stay cycling through, and you cycle through, and you cycle through, and you cycle through, you start to get fresh matches. You do. Maybe not, 24/7, but it happens a lot more frequent compared to backing out all the time. But this is the issue here. This is the problem. Because if you do decide to stay in these games, and you do finish out a game that's going in the middle of, and it's in mid-progress, it counts against your stats. And that is where we have a problem here. You see, personally, I wouldn't mind joining games in progress, but the issue is that I have to try my absolute hardest every time I get into a match in progress, and people don't want to do that. Over half the time you get thrown into these matches in progress, it's because the other team is getting stomped out, right? Why are there open spots? Why are there available spots, right? Sometimes, yes, someone might get booted or lag out of the game, or something happens at the very beginning, and those are the good ones to join in progress, right? The best matches are the ones where it literally just ticked off, and it's like, okay, I get a full match here. Might not be from the very beginning, but I still get a decently full match. But that's so rare. That's extraordinarily rare. Why are you joining in games that are in the middle of their life cycle? Because the enemy team is getting whooped, right? The team must be just going to town on the team that you're about to join, onto. So you're already joining into a game that is getting stomped out here. Being put in a situation like that, nobody's going to want to try. You're basically, the guinea pig. They're chucking you in there just to, keep the game going real quick, right? So the enemies can still keep, pumbling and keep the game going so it's not boring and tedious. So if you're doing that, there has to be some type of reward, right? And the reward is not losing any stats. My KD shouldn't be affected. My win-loss shouldn't be affected. Everything shouldn't be affected by the game that I'm joining into because, like I said, I'm literally being used as a guinea pig. That's all I'm there for when it comes to a mid-session. So, if they want me to really stay in that game, in that lobby, and be used so the enemy team can continue to go, then I want the possibility that if I win, if I do come out and I can win the game, then I want to catch a W. But if I lose, I don't want anything against my stats. It's not fair. Your stats should not be affected whatsoever if you're being thrown in the middle of the match. And if you can still win that game, then they should be affected because you went above and beyond to win that game that you're in. So yeah, honestly, you should get a W out of that. Pretty much the same exact system that Call of Duty has in place, right? So if you do join a game in progress, if you don't want to deal with it, you can back out. It won't affect your stats. And if you stay and you win, you'll go ahead and catch a W anyways. And if you stay and lose, you won't catch an L, but at least you'll get some XP. You'll get some progress towards your battle pass. You'll get something, but it won't affect your stats in any negative way. I think that's how it has to be handled in order for this to be a fair scenario. Because right now, people are being thrown into matches in progress where they're getting absolutely stomped, and, they're stuck. If they back out, they lose. If they lose the match, they lose. They literally have to sweat their hearts out to try to catch a W to save their stats. It sucks. It really does suck for anybody who wants to, raise up their win-loss or get their score rating up a little bit higher. It's horrible to be a solo player. It's much better to have a squad of 4, 5, or 6 because you don't risk the chance of being thrown into a match in progress, right? And you don't have to catch that automatic L. Whereas a solo, you never know when that automatic L is going to be thrown at you. So, I think that's the perfect middle ground. But again, I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section. Do you think that, joining mid-session should be completely stripped from the game? Or do you agree with me and you think that it should still stay in the game so it's not completely obnoxious to be, on one of those teams who is stomping out and then got to verse one person for the remainder of the game and never have anybody else cycle through? But, obviously manage it so whoever joins in on the enemy team, they don't lose anything towards their stats. They only gain XP, and if they win, they gain a W as well. But that's it. There should be no other anything, no negatives for joining a game in progress and being forced into, a horrifying cycle like that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And like I said earlier, if you want to check out any of my live streams, which we will be live streaming Season 1 for XDefiant, you guys can find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.